Welcome to Between Whistles. I'm Joe.
I'm Cindy.
We are talking the Lions.
Yes, we are your hometown team here on Between the Whistles Detroit.
Now, they play their first preseason game tomorrow, and we're recording on Thursday, but you will see this on Friday, and we will post in all the fan pages because we know that they like them, and especially on Detroit Lions News.
Yes.
Where you get all your news in one source from Between the Whistles and Detroit Lions News. But we kind of are at a crossroad because a lot of, one of the hottest bets in Las Vegas right now is the Detroit Lions over 5.5. Now, I am going to take some credit because I betted the Lions.
Of course you are.
I betted the Lions at plus 700.
Woo!
At 5.5 wins over.
Are we gonna be splitting that?
Yeah, we might be. It might just go to the show.
Yeah.
To be honest, because a little portion of it, because it's gonna be a pretty nice chunk of change. But
there you go.
Keep going. But I think the Lions roster is better than it was last year. I'm not really sure why people are thinking the Detroit Lions are gonna be bad.
Because they think it's the same old Lions, Joe. That's what it is. I mean, come on. They've been getting teased for the last 30 years. Every year they think it's going to be better. Every year they think that they've got hope, and then the Lions just fail in tremendous fashion. But I will tell you this. I think it's a different Lions team. I really do believe that. I think that finally the Lions fans who've been holding on every season for, the better part of 30, 40 years is going to get a very, very nice early Christmas present here this season.
Well, I think what you could say is, Dan Campbell's done some interviews on 97 Win the Ticket, and the one thing you can say about, he just recently did an interview with the morning show on 97 Win the Ticket, and he said that, when he came to Detroit, he just loves the atmosphere that they have. The players are having fun. I think that's something that could really bode well. But I think what really, we posted on Between the Whistles, their biggest upgrades and their biggest downgrades. People are obviously going to say quarterback. There are some people in the comments who said there was no downgrading quarterback, which is a lie. But the reality of the situation is they're both different quarterbacks. So you could be good with one quarterback, and the other team could be really good with one quarterback.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. Well, but I think the biggest player that they brought in that is going to be the biggest key to the Detroit Lions season is a place that they needed help at, and that was Michael Brockers, the defensive tackle from the Rams. So
yeah,
you hear about Ali McNeil. He's the third round pick. He's getting a lot of praise in training camp. You have guys like Quintez Cephas that are getting a lot of praise.
Yeah,
Jeff Okudah getting a lot of praise. TJ Hawkinson obviously is getting a lot of praise because he's just a great player.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift. Some great opportunities there. And I'll tell you, this is what my thoughts are on the QB and whether or not we downgraded or not. And I'm going to say no. And the reason I am saying no, that we did not downgrade, I know you're going to disagree, just keep your powder dry there for a moment there, my friend. The reason why I think we did not downgrade is that I think that although Matthew Stafford, tremendous talent, right? I think Jared Goff just has not had the opportunity to really to allow himself to shine, okay? He hasn't been given the right opportunity. And I think that, he lived in the shadows in LA. It was a different environment. And now that he's here in Detroit, he has an opportunity to make this team his own. And I also believe that it's not always the best players that you need, it's the right players. And I believe that with what Dan Campbell has put together here with Brad Holmes is that he is putting together the right team, the right stuff. And I think that Jared Goff is the right stuff for Detroit. They mic'd him up the other day, and for those of you who haven't seen it, you might want to check it out. And it showed his ability to gel with his team, his ability to lead, his ability to stay relaxed and yet focused. And his players were responding to him. And it is going to be critical that he is able to do that on the field when push comes to shove. And I believe that he will fit a lot of those holes for the Lions, and that's why I believe he is not a downgrade, because I believe, although he may not have the stats that Matthew Stafford has, I believe he is the right player for Detroit.
I mean, I think you're right. I mean, obviously he came out of a media market in LA that's kind of intense. He's coming to Detroit, which is a lot less intense than in LA.
Right.
Obviously in LA they're crazy, but
I don't think you're going to get any argument there.
But
we're a different kind of crazy here in Detroit.
Right,
that's the thing.
It's a different kind of crazy. But
that's
right. I think what you're saying is, the one thing that Matthew Stafford didn't have in his career was coaching that actually, like, he had Caldwell, but Caldwell, he just couldn't manage the game. That was his downfall, and we'll see what Dan Campbell can do. But I think what you can say about Dan Campbell is he has the right leadership in the organization. And I was talking, and they were talking he was talking to Nice Up One. I thought it was really interesting. He said that when these players come off the field and they made a mistake, they're not just talking to a position coach that's never played the game. They're talking to a guy like Mark Brunell who's played the game. That's Jared Goff's coach.
Yep.
If DeAndre Swift makes a mistake, who he's talking to? Deuce Staley. One of the wide receivers makes a bad play. Who they're talking to? Antoine Randall. Mm-hmm. So these players these coaches that they're coming back to have played the game. And I think what you are seeing is when you get these coaches that the players can buy into, they can respect because they played the game and they know how it is. When they come back to the field, they come back to the field and they made a mistake. I'm pretty sure those coaches are not going to be in their face going, "You dumb person." I think they're going to be like, "You need to look at this, and you need to look at this, and you need to look at this." And that's the way these players want to be treated. They don't want to be treated like kids. This isn't Little League football. They should know what they're doing. But, they're human too. They make mistakes. So they
need more constructive coaching. And I think they're going to see that from this coaching staff. I agree with you.
You need constructive coaching. I mean, in the defensive backfield, they're talking about Jeff Okudah being way better than he has been. That's a credit because Jeff Okudah is definitely a key. But I just
it's interesting because the Lions defense, we can agree, Lions defense had nowhere to go but up. And they were so pathetic and pitiful last season. They had nowhere to go but up, and I think they've made tremendous strides there. I'm excited to see what they've done on defense. But here's the other thing, is what we've seen in training camp is, and it's been mentioned, in numerous press stories, is the potential lethal weapon that we have in our offensive line. Is that I think that offense for the Lions can be just deadly, and they were saying could be in the top 5 in the NFL, and I can see where you could believe that with what we've got lined up there under Jared Goff and who we've got that's brought in to support him with that. So I'm excited for that. I think that the Lions are improving everywhere, and then we pick up a kicker.
Just
picking up a kicker too.
We need help at kicker, but listen to these guys who they got as their coaches. Their quarterback's coach is Mark Brunell. He's an NFL player. Mm-hmm. Hank Fraley, he was an offensive lineman, a good offensive lineman in the NFL. Then you got Ben Johnson. He was a tight end. You have Antoine Randall. He was a wide receiver in the NFL, and he played really, really good. Dom Capers, where he's from, Green Bay. You know who he knows? Aaron Rodgers. Very well.
There you go.
You have Aubrey Pleasant, the defensive backs coach. Another NFL player. Another guy that can help these defensive backs. Like Jeff Okudah, Owari, there's so many players that they could help. You look at the linebackers coach. It's Kelvin Shepard. He played in the NFL too. There's so many pros that were in this. They're integrated into the system. So if you're gonna get coaching, you want it from players that actually played. So getting the offensive line getting help from Hank Fraley. That's great. Mm-hmm. Aubrey Pleasant, Kelvin Shepard. Mark Brunell helping out Jared Goff and that team, Deuce Staley helping out the running backs. That's great. The thing about it though is the Lions are going to be better, I think, because I think, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I think that they're going to be a lot better than people think. I think what they're going to be is what the Red Wings are going to be this year. They're going to be better than people think. They're going to show improvement, and they're going to show that the coaching that they have is taking them in the right direction.
You know what I think the word, Joe, you might be searching for that might work for you here? Respectable. I think these teams are going to be respectable this year.
I think respectable is the right term. I don't think you're going to see the Detroit Lions be this horrible kicking.
National embarrassment.
Now, what could really determine
Yeah.
that is the kicking game, and that's a big question mark. But the one of the things that the Lions have at their disposal is they have a good running back stable. They have a really good defensive line. They have a really good defensive line with Brockers and Lee McNeil. They have talent there. Linebackers, same thing. They're going to get Derek Barnes. They're going to get Jamie Collins. But the secondary could be the definitive factor. I think Jeff Okudah in year 2 is going to have a huge year. And I think you're gonna Tracy Walker, another kid that really was hampered by Matt Patricia and that garbage bag poncho boo.
We're going back to boobs on the Cindy and Joe show between the whistles. We just can't get away from it.
I can't contain my hate for that guy, but you know what?
Well, he certainly did a disservice, I think, to Lions fans, the organization, and to the players in there,
and
for sure.
Dan Campbell is going to renew the vibe, and you can tell that players love it because they even have said, like Frank Ragnow said, that he likes Dan Campbell. And one of his division foes came out and said, it was Dalvin Cook, which is an all-pro NFL running back, said, he get me fired up, man. He get me fired up.
He's a great guy. Boy, what a character.
And if you're talking about a division coach saying you get him fired up, I mean, how many players in the NFL are actually thinking that same thing? Like, the guy is fun to be around. He's a good guy. He's been an NFL pro. And you're going to start to see this Lions team make some big changes.
And I think the other thing that you've pointed out here, just doing that little rundown that you just did, is that Dan Campbell is preparing for a running as well as a passing game. And he understands that. And with what he's lining up, I think the Lions have potential to develop both of those.
Yep. I think the run game helps the pass game, and that's how you win games.
Yep.
We've seen it with the Patriots. We've seen it with the Buccaneers last year, Chiefs, all the good teams. They can run the ball, play time of possession, limit the other team's offensive snaps, and I think that's what the Detroit Lions are going to do. And they're going to have to do that because they have a tough schedule. They're going to have to play time of possession because some of these teams are really, really talented coming out the gate. We will see you in the next segment as we give our college football all names list. You don't want to miss this because I think I'm going to have Cindy going, what the hell did I just walk into? That's next on the Cindy and Joe show. Please tune in because this is you won't believe some of these names on the list.
You don't want to miss it.
It's absolutely amazing.